I'm Bob Schwartzy. Pretty excited about this here episode of The Economist. We got some pretty big names here today. We got two big ones, Barry Melrose and of course Bob Schwartzy. A little disappointed. Stuart Scott was supposed to be with us, but he's unable to be here today. So we got President Jade O'Donnell here instead, and you know that's a viable replacement, I guess. But no one can really replace Stuart Scott. I got my nephew Todd. He's a bit of a moron. It's gonna be a pretty good episode. But Todd, put it down, Todd. Todd, don't put that up. Hello and welcome to another edition of The Economist. We're here at the Schwartzy residence in beautiful Buffalo, NY. Here with me, as always, are The Economists. My nephew, Todd Babcock.
How are you, Bob?
Also, we got President of the US of A, Jade O'Donnell.
Great to be here, Bob.
This last man needs no introduction. Canadian financial analyst and former president of the CPHL, the one and only Barry Melrose.
You had me at hello there, Bob.
On The Economist, we talk about many economic issues. Today, we're going to be talking about the issue of depression. Depression! Now, depression is a very controversial topic, and to talk about it, we got one of the best here. President Jade O'Donnell. Mr. President, can I call you Jade?
Well, Bob, I'd prefer to be referred as Mr. President.
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and call you Jade. Now, Jade, what's your view on the looming depression?
I'll take that one there, Bob. Well, up in Canada, you know, the Great Land, when we have a depression, we like to take depression and we fill it in with a little mix of Mother Nature's sweet nectar, maple syrup, mix the water, let it freeze for 2 to 3 days, eh? And we play a little puck on it, you know, a little good old classic Canadian hockey. Well, Barry, not to be rude, but I'm struggling to figure out how exactly hockey and maple syrup refer to this looming depression in America. My vision for the American people, as I have stated for my election, is to get us out of this depression. And to do so, we need to increase government spending and lower taxes for all those hardworking Americans. Therefore, lowering the unemployment rate and stimulating aggregate demand and getting this country back where it needs to be.
Well, Jade, that's a great vision and all, but your eyes look a little red right now. So may I suggest Visine A, the only eye drop used by Barry Melrose. That's me. He's stoned.
Barry, how many times have I told you? You can't plug your personal sponsors on here. Are you royalty? Yeah. I'd be hard-footed to argue that. But you are. You're royalty, but you can't plug your sponsors on here.
My apologies there, Bob. But since this is an Economist show, I'd like to discuss my plans to stimulate the stock market.
Whoa there, Jade. Now, I was about to get to the stock market. Great idea. But around here, I run the show. I call the shots. You don't come into my beautiful home in the beautiful Buffalo, NY, ride your horsey high into my kitchen and you drink all my water and you try to kiss my wife. No, Jade. This is my show. I call the shots.
My apologies, Bob. But this is in fact a show called The Economists, and I am a special guest here. Therefore, if I may, I would like to take this time to talk about the stock market crash and my plans to re-stimulate the market and get stocks back to where they should be.
Well, the stocks. It's a great idea to talk about. Little problem, I call the shots around here. I was going to bring up the stocks in 2 to 3 seconds. The depression sucks, the stocks suck, and the bills suck. So, now that we're on the topic, let's get talking about the stock market.
My socks are in the wash.
Excuse me, Mr. Babcock. I think you're a little confused here. We're not talking about socks, we're talking about stocks. The stock market. Now, the stock market is an extremely...
Whoa there, Jade. This is my nephew you're talking about here. I'm sure his socks are in the wash. It was just a little error.
Yeah, take off, you stupid hoser. Get off your high and hindy horse. You know, you don't see us stepping into your rink there and tooting around your booter.
Now, Bob, I'm very sorry. I would like to apologize once more for cutting in on you. I felt very bad about it.
It's quite all right there, Gene.
Now, if I may, Todd, let me ask why you're here. What are your credentials?
I'll answer that question for you, President Noseface. I don't appreciate you questioning my nephew Todd's integrity here. He's a pretty bright boy. Aren't you, Todd? Now, truth is, Todd recently lost his job at the gas station. There he goes. See you, Todd. He lost his job because the gas prices were just so dang high. They couldn't afford to keep so many employees. What are you going to do about that, Mr. Press?
That president has no feelings. I lost my job over at the gas station because some guy made fun of me and I put gasoline in his big gulp. I think he's still alive. I don't know why I got fired. It was an honest mistake.
Well, Bob, you see, this is probably due to rising commodity prices, such as rising gas prices. Gas is very hard to come by today in Mother Nature.
Yeah, Mother Nature must be cutting down on the beans there, eh?
Well, Bob, your nephew Todd, he's unemployed currently, correct?
That is correct there, Mr. President.
See, Todd, as he told me prior to the show, is still looking for a job, therefore he is frictionally unemployed. Frictionally unemployment plus structural unemployment, which is technology taking jobs, combined with the natural rate of unemployment, which is about 3 to 4%, give or take a few, creates the unemployment rate for our nation. And right now, it is just too high. The thing is, if we can lower unemployment rate, that will raise inflation rates.
Wait. I know this one. So if the U.S. of freaking A's inflation rate's higher, that means our Canadian money there, eh? The all-righteous money, is worth more, which means that American beer therefore becomes cheaper for Barry Melrose.
Whoa! We talking about the Bruce?
Beers.
Speaking of Bruce, can I interest you guys in a drink?
Oh, you know I would go for a drink. Stop one, Bob.
Let me get my wife out here. Bag, get your ass out here.
Boys want some drinks?
I'm feeling slightly parched. That's enough.
Guys, talk about the economy out here. Guys, talk about how too much government spending can cause crowding out effect.
Honey, that's nonsense. Get the hell out of here.
Clearly American
I'll be right
women
back
have
with
no
the
idea what
sandwiches.
they're talking about.
Excuse my wife, guys. She is, after all, a woman.
Actually, if I may, crowding out effect is a very viable point, part of our major problem in our depression. Crowding out effect is caused when the government, my government, spends too much money, borrows too much money from our banks, causes interest rates to go through the roof. Therefore, people like you two fellows here are not able to borrow money.
Well, obviously, Jade, that's more obvious than the Canucks in Game 6. And what are you calling us fellows for? You insulting my manliness? I'm not a baby deer here.
I'd just like to throw out a little reminder out there, if you will. The Economists on the show. Hey, you're talking to me, Bob Schwartzky. You're not talking to the camera. Hey, camera. The camera lost me. I'm Bob Schwartzky. But you're talking to me. You're not talking to the camera or those at home.
Anyways, Jade, now that we're past that, I would say that government spending, Bob, is like a good hockey game. The more goons you put into it, or money, as we like to call it these days, the more you get out of it. You get fights, you get big hits, you get goals, you get red line, tendy, tilts. You know what that is? That's two going at it, deuce for deuce, punch for punch, right, center ice. But if the government puts too much into it, if I'm right, Jade, then you don't get any big hits, you don't get any collisions, you get a bunch of ballerinas skating around a tiny patch of ice as it melts and the beer gets sold up top.
I couldn't have said it better myself there, Barry. Oh, an example. It reminds me of a little economic issue I learned back in grade school. The only school I ever graduated from. Something called the comparative advantage. Now here in Buffalo, New York, Buffalo, NY, we have a comparative advantage in two particular products. One being hot dogs, one being our French onion dip. The hot dogs. Zweigel's hot dog. Best hot dog on the planet. If you ever have a Zweigel's, you haven't lived yet, boys. And the French onion dip, we got the bison. The bison dip, it speaks for itself. You gotta try some bison. Now, the bison dip, official sponsor of the Buffalo Bills.
The
Bills.
Did someone say bison dip and Schweigels hot dogs?
Hey, Todd.
Hey, Todd.
Gentlemen, honestly, I have no idea the words that just came from your mouth, how they relate to the economy, comparative advantage, and the crowding out effect. Utter bullshit.
Okay, Prez Hilton, let me take my luck at this one. See, opportunity cost. I could get myself 4 Bills tickets, or I could get myself 2 G.I. Joe action figures. If I go with the 4 Bills tickets, I don't get my G.I. Joe action figures. If I get the action figures, no Bills tickets. Duh, Bills.
The Bills.
Hey, Bob, drink's a little warm.
Let me take care of that for you. Hey, Peg, get us some ice.
Did someone say icy? I'm always ready to go for a little tilt. You know, Barry Melrose always comes ready to play a little puck. You know, back in my day, back in the good old Mother Canada, we used to take a little antifreeze and put in our neighbor's ponds so that everyone in the neighborhood would come play with you. You know, that's how I got so skilled at the game there. Take slap shots, play a little tendy, you know. Always good for a good tilt. You know, stupid hosers, talking crap, taking names.
Well, Barry, not quite sure about that. But right now, boys, if I may, I'd like to talk about something very deep and thought-provoking. Monetary policy. You see, monetary policy
Say your thing.
and that there is monetary policy. So, what do you think, boys?
Wow, that's some very compelling stuff there, Jade.
You're a real straight shooter, guy.
You know, and if that doesn't work, we can always go into an autarky.
A turkey? Peg's got one cooking in the kitchen. What do you guys say we go get some turkey? Turkey.
I honestly don't know what just happened there. These men are complete morons and idiots. This show is the biggest disgrace, and I am appalled that I was asked to be on this. I just don't know what to say.